How's it going, YouTube? Spec M Auto is back with another episode of M.A.V. today. Today we're going to be doing a pretty big project, so it might be a fairly long video, so just a fair warning. But anyway, we're going to be doing 3 different things today. Don't worry, I'm not going to film all of it because some of it is like repeats from before, so I'll just film stuff that's not repeats. But let's turn you guys around and show you guys this package I got recently. As a matter of fact, I think I just got it yesterday. I just got a brand new, super duper fancy radio for my 2008 Civic Coupe. And as you can see, it's not that basic bitch radio that you can get on Amazon or whatever. This one's far nicer quality. The buttons feel nice. The knob is just has satisfying little clicks. The buttons feel better quality. It's all physical buttons, no touch sense BS. So I'm very excited about it. So today I'm going to be installing this radio. I'm going to be installing a backup camera, and I'm going to be switching out the bulbs out of the climate controls here to the ice blue bulbs that I have mentioned before. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with it. Alright, so like I say in every video that has something to do with electrical items, first thing you ever want to do is pop the hood. Come over to the front here. We're going to put our little hood prop up. It's hot under here. Ooh, I just got home from work. Alright, and then we just take the negative terminal off the battery, and that should completely disconnect the power. If you want to feel extra safe with yourself, you're more than welcome to take both terminals off. But keep in mind, when you're dealing with batteries, negative comes off first, positive comes off last, and it's the opposite when you're putting it back on. So it'd be positive first, negative last when you put the battery back together. But at any rate, that's all done. So we'll just gently set the hood down. We're not going to completely shut it, so it'll be easy to open again later. We can open this. We can look up at the dome light. There's no lights on, so that indicates that the power is off. We're going to go ahead and just do the radio first, and we're going to do the bulb swap first in the climate controls here. So let me show you guys how to do this whole radio swap thing, okay? Alright, so in order to take out a radio in the 8th gen Honda Civic, there's going to be a little black plastic piece up here that you can pop off with a screwdriver, like a flathead or something. As you can see where my finger is, that's like the indentation where you can stick it in, pop this cover off. There's going to be 2 Phillips head two Phillips head screws up in there that you would have to remove. But fortunately, in my case, the screws are broken and missing, whatever. So we don't have to worry about that in my case. But in your case, if you've never messed with the radio before, keep that in mind. Which I personally don't see the point in having the screws, because I mean, this one doesn't have it, and it's perfectly fine. I've never had the radio randomly fall out of my dash. But yeah, you'll want to take like a trim removal tool, and you'll just want to pop these pieces off here. These have been popped off previously, so they should be fairly easy to remove for me. So anyway, yeah, I don't have to worry about doing all that stupid stuff with the screws underneath because they're gone. So what I can do is I can just kind of start snapping it out of the dash here. And as you can see, this is starting to lift up off the dash. We'll just pull. It's hard to do on one hand. Just kind of pop this part of it up, pop this out. You could take this whole thing out if you want, but you can get away with just kind of slide it in and out of this. So now that that's out of there, you can just kind of slide it out, and bada beep bada boom, the radio is out. So all you got to do now is go back there and unhook all these wires that belong to the radio, and we'll see you in a second. Alright, so I don't know how well this is going to come out because I'm doing this all with one hand, but basically you just want to come in here, click on this button there to pull out the wire. So that'll come out. On this one, you'll just click on this little tab on the top here, pull it out. On this one, there's a tab right here, pull it out. so those are all your basic wire harnesses for your radio, as you can see. So the radio is technically unhooked now, but there's a few more things we got to get. That's the climate controls. So now that all the radio stuff is out of the way, here's this brown wire right here, or tan, whatever you want to call it. You'll want to push this wire, or this tab, and you want to pull it out. There's this random piece right here for the hazard light. You can't see it. There's a tab on the bottom of that. You click it, pull it out, and that should be the radio. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. There's these are just USB plugs, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, now as you can see, the radio, the old radio, old aftermarket radio, which is a steaming pile of shit, is finally out of the car. And here's a big old gaper. So this is gonna be all your crap here for that. Don't mind this wire just that's randomly here. This is for the backup camera that I tried to install that didn't work. I don't know if it's something with this, I don't know if it's something with the camera itself. Either way, I don't give two fucks about that, because all this shit's coming out and it's all gonna get swapped out with newer, better shit. So let's go on to the part now. I think what I'm gonna do first is take care of the bulbs and the climate controls, and then we can start swapping everything over to the new radio, and then we can install the new radio. Alright guys, so to start off by taking the climate controls out of here, there will be 4 Phillips screws. One here, one here, one in here, and one in here. As a matter of fact, we'll have to take out the hazard button and the climate vent as well, because this is all going to be swapped into the new radio. But right now we're just focused on this, so let's go ahead and get our screwdriver in there and let's try to take these climate controls out of here. Alright, so on this, it's going to be a little more annoying from this point forward. So there's going to be a little screw here, 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 and here. These screws need to come off in order for this back half of the climate controls to come out. So let's go ahead and get those screws out real quick. Back cover is now off, and you're exposed with this circuit board. You don't have to tear this down any further. This is as far down as you're going to go. You can see all these little black dots on here. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black dots, 6, 7. These are all going to be your bulbs that are inside this climate control module. You'll want a small flathead screwdriver to turn and remove these bulbs. So let's go ahead and demonstrate. Also, they're like really annoying to deal with, but it's not the hardest thing in the world. It's just more of a hassle and more of a frustration than anything else. And you'll see I'm going to start getting some raining bulbs here in a second. Half of these bulbs were out, but I mean they're OEM from 2008, so I fully expect them to be not functional. Safe way to avoid making a whole lot of contact with this motherboard is to try to shake the bulbs out when you loosen them, kind of like what I'm doing here. They'll want to fight a little bit, they'll want to be stubborn, but eventually you'll be able to persuade them to come out. sometimes you can kind of sneak up on that under lip of this bulb here and just kind of persuade it to come out, just like that. And then you'll want to do that for the 1, 2, 3 more bulbs that are left in here. Alright guys, I'm going to show you guys real quick a little comparison. Here are the old bulbs and here are the new ones. It's smaller, but trust me, they're the same size. They plug in, they're compatible. If you guys are curious to know what size these new ice blue LED bulbs are, which they also come in different colors by the way, these are size T4.2. So these are T4.2 bulbs, and they are made to fit in like climate controls and dashboards and things like that. So that's what we're going to be putting in here now. So like I said, these are really annoying to work with because we gotta put the bulbs in a certain way, and if you don't put them in the correct way, you have to take them back out and turn them around and hope that you get them in right. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay guys, so me personally, I want to I don't want to put this whole thing back together, screw everything back together again, only to find out some of these bulbs aren't working. So what I'm going to do, and honestly what I prefer doing, is just taking this back plastic protective cover. We'll just kind of snap it back on, and then we'll hook the battery back up, and then we'll plug this in. We'll see what bulbs come on and what bulbs may not come on. Because like I said, these bulbs need to face a specific way, otherwise they will not work. So that's the fun part. So with that being said, let me hook up this battery, plug this in, and I'll tell you guys the result. Alright guys, the battery's back in. As you can see, lights back on. Let's see what lights come on and what doesn't. Alright, so we have neither side. We have these aren't on, so really we need to readjust these bulbs as well as these. So let me look at it from this side. See, it looks like this bulb does come on, so that's strange. Why can't I see it from this angle? I don't think that bulb's working, so yeah, that one's gonna have to get turned around. Yeah, you see these ones are working. The 3 on here are not working, so we're gonna have to turn around this one, this one, this one, and this one, most likely. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm gonna turn these bulbs around, and I'll get back with you guys in just a minute. Okay guys, before I take this all off apart again and fix those bulbs I mentioned, I need to make something very clear. I'm not sure if it's exactly something you have to do, but it's in the very least my preference, but I feel like it's something you have to do. If you're in this situation where you're swapping these bulbs in and you have to test them, some of them aren't working, and you have to take them out and turn some of them around, right? Now before you plug anything in, like okay, basically what I'm having a stroke, sorry guys, it's like 85 degrees out here today. But anyway, before you hook up that battery, you want to plug this in first. Plug the unit in first, then go up front, hook the battery up, test your thing, and if some of those bulbs aren't working, you have to unplug this and take it out again. Go back up front, unhook that battery again, then unplug this, because if you unplug and unplug this or anything remotely electrical in this area with the battery hooked up and you're just plug, unplug, plug, unplug, you have a pretty high potential of causing yourself to have electrical problems in your vehicle. You don't want that. So just take my advice, even if it's something you don't really have to do, just do it for your sake. Just do it for your sake. Do it for your peace of mind. And like I said, battery is now unhooked again. So we'll go ahead and just take this out, and then I'll readjust the bulbs. All right, guys, we're back again. We'll see how they're looking now. All right, see, that's much better. All the bulbs are lit now except for this one. So now we know that these are all good to go, every last one. See, this is how the inside of this should look. Nice bright blue. This side's not lit, so we're gonna have to try this bulb one more time, perhaps switch a different bulb in. So let's get that cracked out real quick, and we shall be done with this portion of the video. Okay, guys, before I forget, I do have a little word of advice for you guys that are having to flip bulbs around. So you'll see a little black dot on that bulb, you see a black dot on that bulb. It's because these bulbs that I had in the wrong direction, how I would mark them when I had to turn them around, I would mark the side that's closest to me in black permanent marker. So you just mark it so you know which one's there, and all you gotta do is turn that bulb around to the opposite side and tighten it into where it's supposed to go. Because especially in tight spots like this where that bulb's way down there, you know, you're gonna jiggle around the bulbs and you're gonna lose track of what the position was, and you might just plug the bulb back in the same exact way you took it out, and you have to do double the work. So save yourself the time and not go through all the BS that I did. Mark the part of the bulb that's closest to you and just flip it the other way, and that's how you are able to tell. It makes life so much easier. All right, let's do one last test. Oh yeah, this is exactly what we wanted the whole time. Every last bulb lit, good to go. Woohoo! Alright guys, so I'm not going to waste my time explaining to you guys how to put these screws back in. Just reverse the process that I've shown you originally. And as you can see, everything's back together now with all the new LED bulbs in place. So that's it for this. So let's go ahead and just start our next part. Let me clean these old bulbs out of here. We don't need these anymore. This is garbage. And yeah. That's it. Okay guys, so the next thing we're going to do now with this old radio is we're going to take out the hazard button as well as the climate vent itself. So for the vent, you see a Phillips screw here, here, and here. Those three screws will come out, and then this should pull right out as a whole unit. And then obviously with the hazard button, 2 Phillips screws, that's it, pull it out, same story. Okay guys, so the next thing we need to do before we even think about putting this thing in the car is trying to figure out what the heck goes where. Because as you can see, there's a lot of plugs in here. And got these 2 bags full of wiring. So that is something that we are going to have to figure out together. So we have a little handy dandy book here that can tell us exactly what plugs into where. So we can just follow our diagram here. So that being said, Let's start with the simple ones, which is our wiring harness that is adapted for our Honda Civic. So, let's see. Man, they put a little zip tie on there, so I'm going to have to cut that little zip tie off. I think I have a razor blade over here. Yeah, I don't know who thought of putting the zip tie on there, but that was an incredibly stupid idea. So, it looks like our wiring harness actually just simply plugs into this black square here. So this will just plug right up into there. You heard that little click, that means it's connected. So these are going to be the main wires that will be powering our radio, as well as what appears to be our antenna. So I suppose we can hook that up to here. So now here's our antenna. Let's see if we can kind of untie these a little bit. Yeah, that works. That'll be alright. And I like how I really like how they labeled reverse camera and stuff. So that's really wonderful information to know. So here's the bag of the rest of our random wiring. This looks like our GPS. We got our AV cords for video plugins and aux and all that fun jazz. We have a USB, as well as another USB. Just showing you all that's in here. This looks like some type of this looks like some other type of antenna type of thing. See, I'm gonna have to look through this book a little bit more. See, this is actually the GPS. So what the heck is this? Oh, this could be a mic for yeah, this is a microphone for voice controls. Cool. Alright, so I'm glad I'm able to determine what all this crap is. And then we got a bunch of little bricks of foam in here for whatever reason. So I think for right now, we're gonna have to cut another freaking thing. Wow, they really like zip ties. That is crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of some of these zip ties. Well, we might not have to do that. We could probably just leave it as a bunch, just plugging them in. Why not? Let's just see how it comes out. Alright guys, excuse the huge nest of wiring here, but I can tell you what everything is. So as I said originally, here's your radio wiring for the actual like plug and play itself. It goes over to this antenna plug. This plug right here connects to that. That is for all of your AV cables, microphone, video, aux, things like that. And then these two here, if I can show you, these two smaller ones in the middle and top, that one there and that one there, it's for these two USBs. And this one is apparently for the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that's wired. We probably won't be using that because this also has wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So I might not even have anything to do with that, but it's nice to have that plug there anyway. And then of course we have this other plug here. This is for like a SD card type of thing for like, you know, when you download music and you want to play a file. That's what that is. I'm never going to use that because I stream all my music. And then of course this plug right here, that goes to the GPS, which I stuck to the top of the radio there. I know it's a lot to unpack and I apologize. I mean, the good news is, like I said, they come with this instructions books. And right here, if you want to maybe pause the video so you can see what each thing is. It's a lot. So don't worry, it's a pretty nice, thorough instruction book. It seems to be all nicely labeled, so it was pretty easy to just plug everything up. So now, here is the fun part. I don't know what this is. Before we continue. Jeez, let me look at this real quick. What is that? Number 15. 4G antenna. I guess I can plug it in just for peace of mind. The 4G antenna goes into this red part there. You just pull the cap off and it plugs into that. You do. Alright, next up is the installation. Alright guys, so I know everything right here right now looks confused, but I'll kind of simplify it for you. So the regular USB I'm going to run up in here through the dash into the glove box, so anybody can just use it and plug their device in to charge it or whatever. The Android Auto USB, I popped the cover, where's that cover, out of this cubby hole here. So here's that top piece I was talking about earlier in the video to remove the 2 screws. I took that out. I'm going to run my CarPlay wire harness in there so it's readily available. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm changing my mind here. I'm putting this in there as well because I'm planning on putting a wireless charging pad in that little cubby hole, kind of like how I have in my sedan. So I'll actually run this wire in there as well, so both the USBs will run down into this little cubby. I got the mic here, so right now it's a ridiculously long wire. I'll figure something out with it, but I kind of ran it up into this hole behind this face panel here, and as you can see, well, hopefully you can see, here's the mic. I'm just gonna put it kind of on the bottom of this thing here right by the RPM gauge, so my mic will be fairly close to me, so that'll be nice. So I guess I can go ahead and start hooking it up before I even spend any time installing my backup camera, which I'm not going to film here today because, like I said before, I already did a backup cam install video. If you want to see that, go back to my old M.A.V episode. Should be in my M.A.V playlist. You'll find that episode of me installing that camera on my 4-door. But anyway, so I'll just go ahead and show you guys how to wire this up. So pretty easy, despite the big wiring mess right here. We're gonna go ahead and start with the simple stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and plug our climate in. We're gonna plug our hazards in, and then we'll start plugging our radio in. So let's bring these wires around, and as you can see, this is where these come into play. So let me put my leg up here. So it'll be pretty self-explanatory. Big plug goes in the big plug, snap in. The medium plug will go into the medium, and then of course our small one will go into our other small one, if I could find it. Sorry, you're gonna have to give me a second. Just somewhere in this mess. I think it's plugged into my antenna somewhere. Ah, here it is. Plug this in. Oh, alright. And then we can just, for now anyway, it's gonna be a little bit messy. I just want to kind of get everything situated so we can get things where they need to go. So like I said, this is from the old backup camera. We don't have to worry about that. Let me take this out real quick. Yeah, some of this like extra wire we can kind of just stuff into the dash. I mean, it's kind of what you do anyway, at least if you're like me. But yeah, all this extra crap you can shove back in its little home here. So none of this wire is just sticking out of the dash anymore. We'll go ahead and come on, start putting this in where it goes. Get this mic out of here. There we go. So we'll snap this into its home, and then we will go ahead and snap these into place. Like I said, I'll be tearing this stuff apart again very soon anyway to put the backup camera in. So it may or may not look slightly janky to you, and you know, if that's what you think, that's fine. Yeah, I'm satisfied with the mic being in this location, so I'll go ahead and take that double-sided tape cover off, and I will stick it down right here in that right corner. And then this excess wire we can kind of route back into the dash a little bit, and then bam, that is done. So now everything is straight. As you can see, we now have our radio in here. It's neat. I like it. It actually seems to go with this interior fairly well, so I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing here. Everything seems to be clicking in place pretty well. Yeah, let's go ahead and hook the battery up and see how it's working. Alright guys, we are back again with the final result. Like I said, I filmed that last clip like 2 days ago now. And yesterday I got around to taking the car apart and installing the backup camera like I said I was. And now it's Saturday and everything's all done. So now we can take a look at our final result. So let's turn around real quick and check out this new radio. And it's super duper cool. I'll show you guys with the running lights on. You can see those ice blue LEDs are looking really, really cool. Literally. And I also changed the color of this to match with the rest of the interior. So this is like, it just looks like it's all built together. It doesn't look like that old radio where it's just like this big tablet screen just kind of tacked on there, and it just looked tacky. It looked a little cheaper, it still looked a little more modern, but still, compared to this, it looked really freaking cheap. But this looks just really premium. It looks nice, and I can show you guys a little bit about how this thing works. So let's go ahead and go to our apps, and I can show you. This thing is actually pretty decent with response. This is off of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. This is just the radio itself. Response time with that is cool. And as you can see, you can go to this color wheel, and you can kind of go around and select any desired color for your radio. So it'll be like around the knob and around the buttons. Like I said, I like having it set on this blue color to kind of go with the rest of my interior. Let me fix that real quick. Like this. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. But anyway, yeah, so the screen itself is pretty responsive, and then we can go back to the Android or Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, whatever you want to call it, same difference. Go to the CarPlay app. As you can see, CarPlay is now up, and on CarPlay you can go through the apps on here too. You can see that the touch on the CarPlay itself is not quite as responsive as the radio apps, but it's still good enough. Like, I don't have any complaints about it at all. And you can see I have my Waze app, so you can kind of go on Waze, and yeah. Anyway, so you got that, and then you got your music. So here's my music. I'm not gonna play really much of any music at all because I don't want to be copyrighted, but see, it's pretty cool. The sound quality of the radio is good. It still has all the original speakers from 2008, so the speakers are so-so, but for this radio it sounds really, really good. I'm actually thinking about going ahead and getting new speakers for this car too, so the sound will sound a lot better as well. But as you can see, the radio works good. Waze works good on it. You can do voice commands on there, like hey Siri, what's the weather forecast tomorrow?
Clear skies tomorrow. Daytime temperatures will hover around 87 degrees, with overnight lows around 57.
Pretty good. And then you could also do things like, hey Siri, Text Dad.
What do you want to say to Dad?
Hello, Father.
It says, "Hello, Father." Send it?
Send it.
Done.
Boom. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And like I said, I switched all these lights out with brand new. I put the radio in. Everything's all wired up, ready to go. And just yesterday, I put the backup camera in. As you can see, there's my other Civic right behind me. So, yeah, backup camera's in. Everything works perfectly as should. AC obviously works perfect. All the buttons work perfectly. There's absolutely no problems here. And we're at a young 146,863 miles at this very second. But yeah, so here it is, guys. My new radio backup camera install, as well as installing these ice blue LEDs. I highly recommend doing this configuration if you want to do like a whole new like radio upgrade. It's like, while you're tearing all this out, you might as well put the backup camera in, and you might as well tear this out and get the upgraded bulbs put in too, because I mean, you gotta admit, this looks hella fresh. This looks fresh as fuck. But yeah, I'm super happy with this right now. Massive upgrade. It's even so much better than the other Apple CarPlay radio that's in my other car, because like I said, it's that basic bitch radio with the touch sense buttons on the sides, and it kind of glitches out sometimes, but this one is like very streamlined, very good. The quality is superb. It fits and finishes perfect. It just looks like it was made with the car. I am in love. Now I could leave links in the description down below, show you guys what radio I installed, what LED bulbs I put into the climate controls, as well as the rear backup camera that I installed. This radio does come with a backup camera, but I don't trust those like little cheap looking cameras. I went with a Nautica brand camera, just as I did on my other Civic in my previous M.A.V episode covering the installation of a backup camera. I highly recommend spending that extra $30-some on that Nautica camera instead of it, ending up with what could possibly be a hunk of shit of a camera that came with the radio. But the radio itself is just amazing. Just the radio alone was worth the money that I put into it. So you guys might be wondering how much did everything cost? So the radio itself, like I said, it comes with the radio, and it does come with a backup camera, but I didn't put the backup camera in. But that radio was $340 after like tax and everything. It was like 340 bucks for the radio, and I 100% say it's worth it. It's legitimately worth it. The T4.2 bulbs, I think is what I said earlier, for the LEDs for inside the climate controls. Those were about $10, $11. And then of course the Nautica backup camera I just talked about was like $30-some. But like I said, I'll leave links to everything down in the description below if you want to do a similar setup that I did in this vehicle today. None of this is sponsored by any of these companies. This is all stuff that I paid for personally out of pocket and installed myself upon shopping around and looking for product to use in my vehicle. And before I go, there's actually one little cool party trick that I think I forgot to show you guys with this radio. I don't think I have the right thing for it, but on the sides, there's these two little arms that come out. These are actually little tiny magnets where you could stick your phone on, but I can kind of show you right now with my phone that I think I might need to get like a MagSafe thing or something for it to really work, but you can kind of see like it wants to stick on here, but it's just it kind of falls, as you can see, so it's kind of weak if you're just trying to put your phone itself on there. But maybe if you get like a MagSafe type of thing for it to slap on the back of your phone, it might work great. But anyway, I hope this was an insightful video, educational, and even just simply entertaining. I hope you enjoyed it today. Please don't forget to leave a like please share the video with your friends and family. Give that video a thumbs up. And as always, please subscribe to my channel for more future videos, as well as hitting that bell icon so you do get notifications on your YouTube account for when I upload a video. And then you can catch me on the latest video, the latest and greatest. As always, stay safe out there. See y'all later. Have a good one.
When you're revving hard, then you're living fast, then you're living fast, and we'll take this ride. We'll forever last, we'll forever last. When your ears are